Hello everyone. My TV is currently having a rather annoying problem. The signal cable has been damaged, so it can no longer connect to the broadcast source as usual. To test it, I'll use the remote control to open a TV channel. However, as you can see, the screen only displays a no signal message. This is completely expected because without a signal cable, the TV cannot receive broadcast signals from an external source. Instead of immediately buying a new antenna, I came up with an interesting idea. In today's video, I'll show you how to build a simple mini TV antenna at home using easy-to-find materials. Let's get started. First, I use 2 metal spoons to create the receiving frame of the antenna. I use a hammer to flatten the bowl of each spoon. This helps increase the signal receiving surface area and makes the parts easier to assemble in the following steps. Next, I use a marker to make several reference marks on the spoon handles. These marks will help guide the cutting, drilling, and bending operations more accurately. After that, I secure the spoon in a vise to keep it firmly in place. Then I use pliers to bend the handle at a 90-degree angle at the marked location. I repeat the same process with a second spoon so that both receiving elements have the same shape and dimensions. Next, I drill holes at the 2 marked positions on the spoons. These holes will be used to install the signal receiving elements of the antenna. I use 2 steel nails as the receiving elements. First, I cut off the pointed tips of the nails to obtain a more suitable length. Then I cut a small slot in the center of each nail. This slot will make it easier to attach the signal wire securely. In the next step, I insert the nails into the holes drilled in the spoon surfaces. After positioning them correctly, I apply a small amount of glue around the base of each nail to hold them firmly in place. This prevents the components from moving during use and helps maintain stable signal reception. Next, I install 2 additional nails into the remaining holes on the 2 spoons. These nails will act as connection points between the receiving elements and the antenna signal wire. I use 2 metal washers as the signal receiving elements of the antenna. First, I apply a small amount of glue to the tip of each nail. Then I insert a washer into the slot cut in the center of the nail and hold it in place until the glue sets. In the next step, I wrap several turns of copper wire around the 2 nails on 1 spoon. Wrapping copper wire around the nails increases the conductive contact area and forms a small coil that can receive electromagnetic signals more effectively. It also helps transfer the received signal to the output wire more efficiently, improving the overall performance of the antenna. After that, I repeat the same process on the 2nd spoon. Next, I use a square wooden block as the support base for the antenna. First, I apply a layer of glue to the surface of the wood. Then I place the first spoon, which acts as a signal receiving frame, onto the prepared position and secure it firmly. After that, I mount the 2nd spoon onto the wooden base in the same way to complete the main antenna structure. In the next step, I make the signal cable for the antenna. First, I strip away the outer insulation of the wire to expose the copper conductors inside. Then I separate and twist the copper conductors into 2 individual branches. Next, I connect 1 copper branch to the nail mounted on the first spoon. I repeat the same process with the 2nd branch on the other spoon. This connection allows the signals received by the 2 receiving elements to be transferred through the wire and delivered to the receiving device. Next, I use a plug as the connection interface for the antenna signal cable. First, I disassemble the plug to access the metal terminals inside. Then I connect the 2 wires coming from the antenna to these metal terminals. Once the wiring is complete, I reassemble the plug to create the signal connector for the antenna. In the next step, I apply a small amount of glue to the surface of the wooden base. Then I place the assembled plug in the desired position and hold it in place for a few seconds. Next, I use a female socket as the connection point for the TV signal cable. First, I use a screwdriver to disassemble the female connector. Here I have a TV signal cable that already has a connector attached to one end for connecting directly to the television. I use a utility knife to carefully remove a small section of the cable jacket, exposing the metal shielding inside. Then I twist the shielding strands together into a single conductor. After that, I strip a small section of insulation from the inner core wire to expose the signal conductor. Then I connect these two conductors to the two metal terminals of the female socket. Once the connections are completed, I reassemble the socket housing. Finally, I wrap electrical tape around the end of the cable to insulate and protect the connections, making them more secure and reliable during operation. After finishing the build, I connect the signal cable plug to the homemade antenna to complete the entire system. Now it's time for a real-world test. Before connecting the homemade antenna, I'll switch through several channels on the TV to check whether it can receive any signal without an antenna. As you can see, the TV is unable to receive any broadcast signal at all. The screen continuously displays a no signal message. As you can see, immediately after connecting it to the TV, the channels appear almost instantly. The picture is clear, the colors are stable, and the signal reception is much better than I expected. It's hard to believe that this antenna was made using only simple materials such as metal spoons, steel nails, and a few recycled components. This proves that you don't always need expensive equipment to solve a problem. With a little creativity and some readily available materials, you can build a functional mini antenna right at home. If you enjoyed this video and found it useful, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to support the channel. Let me know in the comments which country you're watching from. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.